Fight Lens are back up in Nottingham with the former WBC IBF super middleweight champion, the Cobra Carl Froch.
WBA as well.
WBA as well.
British champion.
Forget
Commonwealth.
That. 4-time world champ.
There's debate around this 4-time because I became WBA champ when I beat Kessler in the rematch. And I was already champ. So do you become another champ? Do you know what I mean? I don't think you do.
I suppose, yeah.
So officially it might be 3-time champ, but who's counting? You're better off being a 1-time champ actually, aren't you?
Because then you'd
Floyd Mayweather was a 1-time champ, you never get beat.
Yeah. It's kind of like a...
all this 3-time, 4-time, it really, you want to just be a 1-time champ, don't you? But I think it's good to show that you've been beat and you come back from adversity and you're able to come back from a defeat and become a world champion again. So I'm a unified super middleweight world champion and a Hall of Famer, which trumps it all.
Of course. We heard on Froch on Fighting, someone asked you, I think, does Amir Khan deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? And you were questioning it, he's been knocked out 4 times, 5 times.
Yeah.
I think maybe he heard what you had to say about him because he came back and had a bit of a go at you, I think, over the course of the weekend.
I thought I was quite complimentary to Amir Khan.
Yeah, I thought. You said you would put him in.
Yeah, but he had a good career. I mean, he never had the big fights with, and he's always chased money, Amir Khan, because I've heard he said something about money, saying I've earned 3 times more than Froch.
Is that what he said?
He doesn't know my financial position. I've done very well in boxing, and since boxing, I've multiplied money. So, without talking about money, because it's quite cringy, I find it a little bit, I don't know, I think that when you start, it's classless, isn't it? To just say, oh, I've got more money than somebody, so therefore I'm better. It's pathetic, really. So I don't want to go down that road, but I think Amir Khan, he never had them big fights. He had a great career, good CV, but he never got the Mayweather, and that would have been the big money fight for him, and I think that hurts him a lot. And he never got the Manny Pacquiao. I mean, he'd have got knocked out in both of them fights, looking at what Canelo Alvarez did to him. And was it Peterson?
Breeders Prescott.
Prescott.
Yeah.
Did Lamont Peterson?
Yeah, as well, I think.
Like his first night, as a shock knockout, wasn't it? But he's got no chin on it. His legs turned to Bambi, and when he boxed Kell Brook, he shouldn't have been fighting. Chasing money again, getting another pay-per-view on Sky, and look what happened. He got absolutely bamboozled. I mean, that's damaging. And listening to him, he sounds, I mean, I don't want to be too much, but he sounds a little bit damaged.
Well, he's taken a lot of heavy punches.
Because he talks shit. He contradicted himself. 1 minute he's giving me stick, next minute he's giving me a load of praise. I'm his best mate at the end of the conversation, so...
Make your mind up, I mean.
Yeah, I think he's better off just...
Did he fail a drugs test as well?
Piping down. Oh, drugs cheat as well, there is that. I might as well throw that in there, failed a drugs test.
That's not going to help you get in the Hall of Fame, for sure.
He ain't got much to really go at, has he, when he's giving the Cobra stick. No, but I'll straighten him out later on Froch on Fighting. Look out for it. I'll have a little think about what I'm going to say, and I'll put him to rights, like I do everybody else.
See if he wants to come on the show. Might take up your
I don't know if he's big enough to come on Froch on Fighting. I don't know if I want him on, to be honest.
I see. Right.
I might talk about him and respond, because the people expect a response from the Cobra.
Yeah.
But do I invite him on? I don't know, it might do my image bad. Remember when he got caught knocking one out on Skype?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I did forget about that, but
it's an image I didn't want to see. Someone sent it me, I was like, oh.
Valid.
Amir Khan pleasuring himself.
Yeah. Keep it in the trousers,
and it ended up on a public network.
That's not good for the image at all.
It's not a good look.
No. Okay, moving on from Amir, I think that's
moving on from Amir and knocking one out.
yeah.
And not in the boxing ring, the bedroom.
In the bedroom. We've got a few questions from GB News, who have been shaking up the media world recently. Obviously, I don't know whether our guy at GB News has watched the latest Froch on Fighting, because he did mention at the end there that you and Anthony Joshua have straightened things out. It's fair to say. You had a question from him.
Who was that on GB News?
Our guy Jack Otway.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I used to work with him. He's a good guy.
And he's on there now, and he mentioned.
Well, we asked him if he had any questions for the Cobra.
All right, okay.
And
fair enough.
he's come through with a couple. So he
I'm
says,
a big fan of GB News. I watch it.
Yeah, I thought you would be. Yeah, they're shaking it up, aren't they? They're opposite of the Guardian, to be fair, aren't they?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing when you listen to one side of the media, and then you listen to the other side. Yeah. The right side.
Yeah.
It's just polar opposites, and it's unbelievable the narratives that are spun and some of the bullshit you have to listen to, and you think, oh my day. Especially now, what's going on with Donald Trump and Biden. I think Biden's stepped down, but between the Democrats and the Republicans, it's just unbelievable. I mean, even the way they reported on Donald Trump getting shot, popping noises, and Donald Trump falls over. It's not Biden falls over, not Trump. He got fucking shot, inches from death. And they're saying all popping noises, and he had to get, he rushed off stage after falling over.
To rewrite a lot of the headlines, isn't
It's
they?
unbelievable, it's disgusting.
Yeah, we're also going to ask you about that later on, but let's get to these GB news questions first. Obviously, plenty has been said and written about your feud with Anthony Joshua. Seems like AJ might have backtracked and apologised. We don't know for sure. Was he unhappy with you, and has he apologised, or did we just smooth things over?
No, he's not apologised. I mean, I don't really feel I deserved an apology. He's got an opinion. I said some. Did he start? I can't even remember now.
He started it with the prick comment, which was,
With the what comment?
The prick comment.
Oh, that was it. Yeah. He was interviewed, and he'd one word.
That's right.
Described me as a prick, which I thought was quite funny. But then, like, if you're going to say that on a public domain, if you're going to call somebody that on a public domain, I'm going to then get asked by people like you and other journalists. Do you consider yourself a journalist? You're going to get asked by people giving interviews and say, why has Anthony Joshua done that? So instead of answering a million different outlets, I just went straight to the horse's mouth and direct messaging, said what's going on, which we know the story. And instead of picking his phone up or giving me a reasonable explanation, there was more nasty messages and more like trying to justify what he was saying.
And deleted messages as
well. And deleted messages. So he's probably got a bit too nasty and thought, I better delete that before he reads it. Possibly, but anyway, I still take it on the chin. People's entitled to their opinion. Not everybody likes everybody, but I've got no like actual personal problem with Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
So I've messaged him back. He's given me a load of shit back, which didn't make any sense, a lot of it. And I shared one of the 15 messages. Which one did I share? I can't remember which one I shared.
It was the money on the bed, was it?
Oh, that was it. The video of him counting money out. It's just because I thought it was funny. It was like a 15-year-old bloody gangster trying to wannabe, just rustling through his £20 notes, and he conveniently had a Rolex watch just on the bed, so he could get on my level. I just thought that was funny. I thought my fans would like it. So I kind of exposed him, but didn't fully write him off because there's a lot more meat on the bone that I've kept to myself, just out of respect. He's a boxer, regardless of whether he's my friend or not. Yeah. He's a fellow boxer, fellow fighter, and I've got respect for him just for that, a profound respect, because I know what he goes through, I know what pressure he's under. And he's done all right, and he hasn't had a bad career. Yeah. Beat Charles Martin, and then he beat an old Klitschko, and then got flattened a few times, and now he's on his way back up. So we'll see what happens with Daniel Dubois, and wish both the lads both the best. But he's since come back with, he's not happy that, what did he do? He asked me about, you see that on Froch on Fighting, he asked me about my win against Jean Pascal. Yes. So he's questioned my win, saying, did you feel like you was a world champion when you boxed Jean Pascal? And I thought, it's a good question, because the title was vacant, and I did want to fight Joe Calzaghe, who was the champion. He was like the real world champion. Great fighter, Joe Calzaghe, nothing against him. But bottom line is, Joe Calzaghe vacated the WBC title rather than fight me. And he waited till the final day, made me wait like over a year before I got my chance to fight him. So, Bricktop, that's Frank Warren, for those who don't know who Bricktop is. He's basically bullshitted and said that he looked into my eyes and he could see I didn't want the Calzaghe fight. I mean, I don't know what it is, and I was a clairvoyant or a psychic. He can read your mind now, apparently, Bricktop can. But that's ridiculous. And I went on and fought Jean Pascal for the vacant title. And this is a guy that went on to dominate the light heavyweight division, became a unified world champion. And he was a world champion years later after that, after losing it and then gaining it back. So when you look at who I beat for the vacant title, that win gets better with age, and that's why I'm in the Hall of Fame. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but you have to look at that. And then when I won that title, that WBC title, my first defence was Jermaine Taylor, a former undisputed middleweight champion. Then look at the crew. I think it was Kessler, and it was Abraham, and Johnson, and Ward, and Durrell, and then Butte, unbeaten. I mean, they conveniently left out the IBF title because that was against unbeaten Canadian Lucian Butte. I think he was 30 fights unbeaten, 24 knockouts when I ripped that title off him. As I've explained already on Froch on Fighting. So my career really is unquestionable. My CV stacks up with some of the best of the best, and I've got nothing to prove. But the people that I talk about, like Anthony Joshua and the likes, sometimes I don't have to mention Amir Khan. Even Tyson Fury, they get upset because I point out facts. Facts don't lie. And if the truth hurts, you have to just have a look at yourself. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just reporting on it. And I'm asked questions, and that's why I'm doing my own channel now, because people value my opinion. But yeah, AJ, to be honest, good luck to him against Daniel Dubois. And I'm not picking a winner there. May the best man win. I expect AJ to do the job.
Yeah.
But I ain't got a favourite who I want to win. I like Daniel Dubois. I like what he stands for. He's young, he's hungry, he wants to be a champ, he's ambitious. He's already had he's had a bite at the cherry with Usyk, got beat. He lost to Joyce as well. But he's a valid challenger
100%.
to
I wonder
AJ.
whether AJ's annoyed that you said that fight's a British level fight. Maybe heard that.
Well, it's two British fighters that have both lost to the champion.
That's it.
Alexander Usyk's the bona fide world champion, undisputed against Tyson Fury. So you would expect the rematch between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk to be for the undisputed fight. So it's a bit disappointing, really, from the fans' point of view. That rematch should be for the undisputed. Same marbles in the game.
Yeah.
Let's fight. The winner takes all.
Yeah.
Now they've stripped the IBF off Usyk. You've got two guys in Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois fighting for a title that's been taken off the champ. So when you win, whoever wins out of that, whether it's AJ or Dubois, they're going to stand there with the IBF belt and say, I'm world champion.
Yeah,
and everybody who's got a brain cell in their head is going to say, actually, you're not world champion because that's Usyk's belt.
Yeah, that belongs to him.
And that's, I think, why AJ sent me that message about the WBC title.
But
when I fought for the WBC title, which I've already explained, I was unbeaten, Pascal was unbeaten, and there was nobody else above us.
No.
The champion vacated and stepped up to light heavyweight.
Exactly.
It's really simple, really easy, but he's got to try and pick little holes in the Cobra's career, and it's not happening, is it?
Well, you mentioned Tyson Fury there. He's currently preparing for his rematch with Alexander Usyk. Is he right to make that decision to take the rematch, or should he have stepped away and just retired?
Tyson Fury or Usyk?
Tyson Fury, the question.
No, Tyson Fury can't retire on the back of that loss because it was a close fight. He did well. He had moments in that fight where he was in control for a couple of rounds, but Usyk's very good at that. He can be out of control for a couple of rounds. He can be working out his opponent, and then he'll change the script,
step up
it up. Yeah, he did it with Tony Bellew. Tony Bellew came out really sharp, really elusive, fast behind his jab, counter punching, but that drained you. And Usyk knows, listen, this is a 36-minute fight. This is 12 3-minute rounds, and you're going to slow down. You can't keep this pace up.
Yeah.
And he just gets on his toes, throws lots of feints, poised with a jab, and just gets in position. And as soon as his opponent shows any sign of fading like Bellew did, he then just takes him out. He had a bad round against Anthony Joshua, and then the very next round he turned it around and nearly stopped AJ. He had a couple of bad rounds against Tyson Fury, and then Usyk comes out and opens up a can of whoop-ass. He's just unbelievable. This is why he's such a good champion, because he's able to adapt and change the pattern of the fight. He'll have a couple of rounds off sometimes because he works hard early doors, then he has a round or two off.
Yeah.
But is he having a round or two off, or is he letting his opponent get some work done?
Yeah.
Letting them feel they're getting somewhere, tiring them, and then all of a sudden he turns it around. He's a phenomenon, Usyk. And there's no shame losing to a guy of that sort of level. Like, people give me a bit of stick, say, oh yeah, but you got schooled by Andre Ward. Yeah, you lost to Andre Ward. Andre Ward's the only guy I didn't beat as a professional. I lost to Kessler, avenged him in the rematch, beat him in the rematch. To lose to Andre Ward, somebody who's not lost a fight since he was 12 years old, somebody who's unbeaten as a professional, two-weight world champion, in a fight that was 115, 113 on the scores, it's not a bad loss. And it's a points loss. Never been stopped, never been knocked out, never fucking quit, would never quit anything. Would certainly never quit in that boxing ring, like certain former world champions have done. So to try and attack the Cobra's resume, and it's just...
They're clutching at straws.
You're flogging a dead horse, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're going nowhere with it. And the Cobra will always come back, and the Cobra will always be victorious. Yeah, well, because I've got my channel.
We need to see you back in that ring at some point. That's what we want to see. But are we going to? We don't know yet.
It depends if Jake Paul grows a set of gonads.
Well, yeah, mentioning Jake Paul, did you see him at the weekend? He beat Platinum Mike Perry, took the shine off Platinum Mike Perry, but obviously the weight difference was huge by the time they had rehydrated. I know you're not a fan of Jake Paul in the slightest. Do you think Mike Tyson will be too strong for him?
I think Mike Tyson's too old to be in the ring.
That's the problem, isn't it?
I think that was shown when he got carried off the aeroplane with his bad back.
You see, Jake Paul has demanded that this fight goes on his professional boxing record, as in Mike Tyson's record, so it's not going to be like a...
That's just to create more fucking... That's just to piss more people off.
Well,
One thing I'll say about Jake Paul is he's a marketing genius. He's got his demographic, he's got his audience that all follow him and watch him. So you've got to admire him for the amount of revenue he's able to generate with his bullshit. My only beef with Jake Paul is that he can't really fight. He's not a professional boxer. So you can't really call yourself a professional boxer. I mean, he's not even in shape. He looks like fleshy. He's got a layer over him. He doesn't look chiseled. I don't even know if he takes the training that seriously.
Well, they said he had to cut down to 200 for this fight, but it didn't look very cut to me.
No. And he's fighting guys that, I mean, how much lighter was Perry?
About 40 pounds, apparently, by the time they rehydrated. So, yeah, I mean, that's a huge difference. And he's about 45 inches taller as well.
Over 3 stone. 14 pounds, 14, 20. It's like...
Yeah, huge amount.
It's ridiculous. Getting on for 3 stone. So he's got a massive weight advantage on most of the guys he fights.
Do you think the fight will actually go ahead, or do you think he'll get scrapped again?
But how can that be classed as a professional? I can expect it to go on his record, or he call himself a professional fighter. Professional boxing is governed by weight until you're a heavyweight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once you go over a cruiserweight, any weight counts. Because when you're that big, the weight doesn't make a big advantage because it slows you down. And it can be more of a hindrance than an advantage.
Good point.
That's why Anthony Joshua cuts weight. And Tyson Fury has to get down to like 18.5 stone from 20 stone plus. Because the optimum fight weight is around that 17.5, 18 stone.
Interesting, yeah.
But when you're 12, 13 stone or whatever it is, what is it, 200 pounds, so it's around about 14 stone. Jake Paul, when he's got a 2 or 3 stone weight advantage on these guys, it's a mismatch, it's not fair.
Yeah.
It's an unfair advantage, which is evident when he fights.
Yeah, because the power there in his punches.
He's that much of a bitch. He gives all that weight, it means that he makes it so he's so much heavier than his opponent. He's got such an advantage. Why don't you fight somebody his own fucking size?
Well, that's what we want to see, isn't it? It's like Mike Perry, all right, he's bare knuckle boxing champion, but he's never really done anything in the boxing ring with the gloves on.
And then because he can't stand what I say about him, the truth, he pretends he don't know who I am.
Well, this is the thing, I did hear that. Who's he bullshit?
He can be quoted as saying, yeah, Carl Froch this, Carl Froch that. Carl Froch should fight Anderson Silva, then I'll fight him. Carl Froch needs to prove himself. Oh, I don't care what Carl Froch's opinion is. Carl Froch is just jealous. Carl Froch has got no money. Blah, blah, bullshit. And then all of a sudden, who's Carl Froch?
Yeah.
I don't know who Carl Froch is. Is he part of Team Tommy Fury?
That's what he said, yeah.
So it's like, listen, you know full well who I am.
He definitely does.
You don't want to acknowledge it because I've got a voice and a respected voice and an opinion that people listen to, and he can't fucking fight. He's useless. He's a bullet, and he's got a massive weight advantage over everybody he takes on. And I'm calling it out, and he doesn't want any of me.
No.
And I don't
particularly wait. I
don't particularly want to fight Jake Paul. I don't want to fight anybody. I'm not interested in boxing. I retired 10 years ago for a reason because I couldn't do it anymore.
Seen it all, done it all. Really.
But I'd quite happily put a couple of stiff right-handers. It'd probably only take one.
Well, I wonder if you'll show up to the Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois fight, because you said you might be there, or you might do a Froch along.
Is he on about going there, is it?
Oh, I reckon he might be there, yeah. He hasn't said it, but I think we could see him pop up.
He'll be hiding behind all this.
Yeah, he will be, won't he? Yeah.
He won't be able to get to the prick.
Yeah. We spoke before about UFC, and UFC 304 is in Manchester coming up this weekend. You got any plans to go along? I think the main event doesn't start till 4 a.m. though, which is obviously catering to the US audience.
I'm busy with the kids now, and they're off school.
Okay,
They've been broke up since early July.
Yeah.
Got like 2 months off.
Okay, decent.
So yeah, I'm
decent.
not...
Are they into UFC?
No, not really. No, I've started watching it and keeping an eye on it because it's good to watch. I do enjoy it.
Some good matches there. Paddy the Baddy.
Yeah.
He's taking on Bobby
I'm
Green.
I'm watching an episode of his documentary the other day.
Yeah.
Him and his wife.
Yeah. Show No Mercy.
Just eating food and belching.
No, it's Meatball Molly.
Oh, was
it? Yeah.
Oh, really?
She's the other fighter, yeah. They're just friends.
Oh, they're just friends. Is that not his
Well, his missus is on it as well because they've got twins now.
Oh, right, okay.
So I don't know if you're mixing them up, but yeah.
But no, I just seen a scene of him chatting away. His mum was there and he was just eating food and belching and eating more food and belching again. I just love food.
Yeah. So
but he has to cut quite a bit of weight to get down. But he's a real character and he fights, doesn't he? He fights with his heart on his sleeve. He really goes for it. And
big time.
He's honest. I like him. He's got a good personality and a good character that you can get behind.
You should get him on Froch on Fighting. Actually,
yeah, I might have to actually reach out because get Paddy the Baddie on.
Paddy the Baddie.
That'd be a right cool. Lee sent me some clips of him. My older brother really watches. He follows the UFC. My older brother, and he sent me some clips of this Paddy the Baddie, and that's how I got into seeing who he was. Then Rachel was watching him on. Is it Netflix?
No, it's iPlayer.
Is it on iPlayer?
Yeah.
BBC. So anyway, I might reach out to him back.
Yeah, I reckon he'd be up for it. Yeah, we went to Liverpool and chatted with him last week. He's a good guy. But he was supporting Spain in the final of the Euros against England. Yeah, because the
Back in the winner, the likely winners.
Well, Scousers, I think they think themselves slightly separate from the rest of England, don't they? They've got their own kind of localised mentality.
That's true, actually,
Yeah. Anyway, each to their own. Right, then he put a video up of him in a pub celebrating the Spain goal and getting in everyone's faces, but no one's gonna say anything to Paddy the Baddy. You're not going to start a fight with him, are you?
What's his patriotism? What sort of him? Got to get behind England.
He said he had a bet with his friends. That's why he could support Spain, but I'm not sure. I think it just doesn't.
I still like it.
Yeah, same.
Spain are good as well.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time in Spain.
Exactly. Yeah,
they're a good team, and I like the country. I like the way this. I like some of the principles when I go to Spain.
Like food.
God, the food's nice. Yeah, I prefer Italian food, but yeah, I like a bit of paella.
Decent. We saw another heavyweight boxer, Robert Helenius, fail a drugs test. I think he failed the one before and after the Anthony Joshua fight. He's been given a 2-year ban. Does it surprise you that people get different lengths of bans for similar doping offences? Clomiphene, again, similar to Conor Benn, what he failed his drugs test for. So should there be just like a across the board, if you fail a drugs test, 2-year ban, 1-year ban? How do we go about it?
If it's a performance-enhancing drug, I think, for me, I mean, I've never taken a performance-enhancing substance, and you know everything that you put in your mouth. Very, very rarely would you take a substance that's contaminated.
Well, he's blaming it on eggs and chicken.
And you didn't know about it?
Well,
eggs and chicken, come on, I mean, go and test the eggs and chickens, and how many eggs do you need to eat?
This is it.
I think we went through this with, I think that's why Conor Benn retracted his egg statement, or it never actually came to fruition about the eggs, because it was ludicrous, the amount you'd have to consume.
Yeah, 100 eggs a day or something.
Yeah, if you're drugs cheating and you fail a drugs test, then that's it, you're banned, mate. You're not welcome in our sport anymore.
Yeah.
So 2-year ban.
YouTubers, I suppose, or something like that.
2-year ban, 1-year ban. It's not enough.
No.
If you fail a drugs test, you've cheated. So unless they can categorically prove that they've been spiked or it's contamination, this is the problem with having a grey area. If you've got ambiguity with a drugs test, and it's like, well, what's the but? You failed the test, clomiphene, ostarine.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's small doses and it's a tiny trace amount and it could be found in eggs. It's like, for fuck's sake. Could somebody give us a categorically black or white answer? Is he a drugs to cheat or not?
Yeah.
And if you're a drugs cheat, you don't belong in a competitive combat sport. I mean, if you're sprinting, and you're an 100-metre sprinter, then you're going to win by a few seconds and you're going to nick somebody's gold medal.
Yeah.
But in a combat sport, you're going to potentially kill somebody.
That's a good point.
So
good point, yeah.
The ramifications should be a lot worse. So you need it needs to affect your career badly. It needs to be like a 5-year ban.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a massive fine for trying to cheat. Hit him in the pocket.
Yeah.
Take 5 years out of the career. No.
Yeah, then people,
second offence, 0 tolerance.
That's it. You need to make people think twice before they even make that decision in the first place. Yeah.
It's like knife crime in Britain.
Yeah.
I mean,
5
if
year
you're
sentence,
caught carrying
mandatory.
a knife, that means you're carrying it, whether you're going to argue that you're doing it to defend yourself. The fact is you're carrying a knife, a blade, that you could stick inside somebody and kill them, which is happening.
Or could get taken off
in
you
the
and
country.
stuck inside you. Yeah.
It's
just
happening
out there in public.
So if you're carrying a knife, you're going out with intent to kill. Therefore, you're going to jail for 10 fucking years on your first offence. And then all of a sudden, all these half-wits that are running around with knives will stop carrying knives. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Let's take knuckle dusters instead or something.
But I just heard the knuckle dusters.
Go old school.
Heard Owen going on the knuckle duster. Old school. I can't say I've ever worn a knuckle duster. But I just think that all this lenient policing and lenient rules, where
not getting us anywhere.
People are getting away with stuff, it's killing us as a country.
Yeah, sad.
And it started off with drugs in sport. If you're using performance-enhancing drugs in professional boxing, you need a ban, at least 5 years, maybe even lifetime. Second offence, lifetime. But once you've done your 5-year ban, if you're going to take drugs again, then obviously you must be stupid. So you need banning, don't you? You shouldn't be them.
Let's see what the new Labour government have to say about knife crime. Maybe they'll clamp down on it.
Aren't Labour on about letting 60% of the population in prisons out?
Well, yeah.
Like reduce
prisons, yeah.
How are they going to do that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. House arrest, maybe. Try that. Or the old tag around the ankle. Yeah. We'll see what happens. But let's get some predictions, quick predictions about upcoming boxing matches. Derek Chisora and Joyce this weekend at the O2, I believe. I'm not sure how ticket sales have been for that, but at least it's in the UK. So hopefully the atmosphere should be a bit better. People will be having a few drinks. Who's your money on?
To be honest, I didn't know they were fighting.
All right.
I've seen that Chisora's out again. I didn't know it was Joyce.
Yeah. Could be his last fight of his career.
I don't think Joyce should be fighting anymore. I said that before when he got knocked out by Zhang.
Yeah.
And Derek Chisora, I mean,
it's not one that's really going to get the blood.
Derek Chisora has been a gatekeeper for years. He's made a living out of basically people being tested before they step up to world level.
And losing to Tyson Fury as well.
If you can beat Chisora, then you could probably... If you can't beat Derek Chisora, you're not going to fight for a world title. So he's a gatekeeper. And he's made a career out of it, fair play to him. But I can think of better ways to make money than getting your brains punched in. Because he gets punched in, doesn't he? He gets battered. I can remember years and years ago, my friend David Hay ironed him out.
Yeah, I was there.
Left up, right up. What a great fight that was.
At West Ham Stadium. Yeah.
After chinning him at the press conference.
Oh yeah.
And then ironed him out in the ring.
That's right.
And then it's like all these years later, he's getting battered.
Still to this day, it must be about 15
years
ago.
Tyson Fury fucking mauled him.
Twice.
Punched him from, battered him. I mean, the first one, it was a bit, he did do him the first time, but it was a bit more of a competitive fight and he was in the fight. But the rematch, Tyson Fury just used him as a heavy bag. Punching his brains in.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Not good for him, no.
So it's not a fight I want to see. I think it's bad for boxing.
Yeah.
And Joyce, I like Joyce. I'm fond of him. I've done some work with him, and obviously being on the England squad, and I've got the utmost respect for both fighters. But there comes a time in your boxing career where you have to say, listen, I'm not going to take any more punches. I mentioned Amir Khan earlier. He came back. I read that he'd lost a load of money on a wedding venue business, and the builders had. He lost a lot of money in that. So is he back because he's struggling for money? I don't know, but allegedly that's what I heard and that's what I read. So he's coming back fighting Kell Brook.
Yeah. No one needs to see that really. It's 10 years too late or 5 years too late.
I mean, I enjoyed watching it, if I'm honest.
Yeah,
it was a good watch.
It was decent actually.
Didn't last long enough. But it just shows you what happens as you age as a fighter. Yeah. And how your punch resistance just diminishes. Usually. And you become a non-force.
Yeah. Sad to see. Terence Crawford in LA up against Israel Madrimov, who's unbeaten. Obviously, Terence Crawford's late 30s now. He's getting on a bit. Do you think he's still got enough?
What weight's that?
Good question.
Has he gone up in weight?
Maybe.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what weight Madrimov is at the moment, to be fair.
I'm not sure.
He's unbeaten, so maybe there could be a catch weight. I'm not sure, but anyway, Madrimov hasn't been around that long, has he? Really?
No.
Still relatively.
Terence Crawford's brilliant. He's getting old. What is he? 37, 38?
Yeah, 37. Yeah.
37. So
just hasn't got that charisma, has he? Which he needs to make the big fights.
Yeah.
But he's in the ring. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great fighter.
Great fighter.
Did he knock out Amir Khan? Terence Crawford fight Khan, sure he did.
Yeah. Some point.
Sure he did.
A while back, yeah.
He fought Kell Brook, didn't he? Kell Brook fought Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. So what do I make of the fight? I think it's Terence Crawford's that good. He could, I think he could beat anybody. But it's just at his age.
Yeah.
You're just waiting for him to just go over the hill and say, right, age has caught up with him. Yeah. So as long as age don't get him, then I think he'll be fine. I think it'll be a good fight.
All right, what else? Last question here. Things keep going from bad to worse for Ryan Garcia. He's been reportedly charged with vandalism after making racial slurs in recent weeks. Do you think we'll ever see him back in the boxing ring?
Not sure. He made a lot of money, didn't he, against... who was that big fight he? Who did he beat?
He beat...
We should know, really, shouldn't we?
Yeah, it was... I watched it.
That was a great fight. No one expects him to win. Devin Haney.
Devin Haney, correct. Yeah.
So I'm thinking of the fight with Tank Davis. But no, that win against Devin Haney, but then failed a drugs test. Yeah. So it's like...
Yeah, it's been up and down.
Kills it, doesn't it? Kills it when you fail a drug test. So and he's been through a lot of sort of mental battles with substance abuse and drinking and that.
Big time.
And then he had that mad talking about Bohemian Grove, and it was all a bit like going on that conspiracy trail.
We were saying if you've got evidence, show us, but then he never did. So
and now he's what? Now he's
charged with vandalism. I think he's just going a bit off the rails. He keeps calling them out, but then is it just to, like you say, boost his profile? Is it going to just be like a social media Love Island?
I see him on Instagram the other day crying again down the lens.
Yeah,
he was crying and doing just talking down the barrel. Sad to see, really.
Yeah.
Because he's still young enough.
Definitely.
So talented, big puncher, exciting fighter. When he beat Haney, I was like, Golden Boy's got him, and he
big
can,
career ahead of him. But
Ryan Garcia could be like the next face of boxing. And he fails that drugs test, It's just a shame to see somebody fall from grace.
Yeah.
It's such a shame.
So much potential wasted.
Yeah.
It is a shame.
I mean, what's he going to do? Vanish now and just become, like you say, a social media influencer. But mentally, I don't know how he's going to cope with that. What's got a 2-year ban? 1 year?
3, I thought, was it?
Was it 3-year ban? So
I'm not sure, but
that's going to take away probably the peak of his career, the best years of his career now, after the Haney win. But the Haney win's been tainted because of the drugs.
Yeah.
It's just a shame. It's just like, you see people with so much talent, but they haven't got that mindset and that discipline.
Do you think it's harder to have that mindset and discipline in this day and age? Or do you think it just depends on the person? Do you think if Carl Froch was 16, 17 years old now?
No, provided that the upbringing was the same. The social media could have been as big as it is now. But when you come from certain places, if you've had a privileged upbringing, you've not come through any adversity, and you've had it quite easy, and you've had everything pretty much gifted you, and you've sailed through to the top, like some people do. Some people go through the Olympics and they win a gold medal, and they don't really have a hard fight. And they turn pro, and they get hand-picked opponents, and they have nice careers, but all of a sudden they come unstuck. Like AJ, for example, with who's the fat kid that beat him? I'll never know. Ruiz.
Oh, Ruiz, yeah.
And you know, that loss there was a massive dent to his confidence. And he'd sailed through it, had everything in his favour, and then the little fat kid punches him upside the head. And his legs turned to jelly. And it wasn't just his legs going, and his fact that he's been dropped. I mean, because he climbed off the canvas against Klitschko. Klitschko didn't throw a punch after he dropped him. Klitschko was like not throwing for 2-3 rounds of not throwing a punch. It was weird. It was almost like, was there something more going off that we didn't know about? Because Klitschko dropped him, badly hurt him, and then never followed up. But when Ruiz smacked him upside the head and turned his legs to jelly, AJ was asking them questions then. Like, right, what do I do? Where do I go? And he looked for a way out, whichever way you dissect it. And he'll probably give me shit for this now, because me and AJ are all right. I've got no real problem with AJ. I'm using AJ as an example, because he had a fast-tracked amateur career and he did fantastic, won an Olympic gold medal. But there was a couple of fights in them Olympics, like the first one with the Cuban, that I had him losing widely. And then in the final against the Italian, maybe it could have gone either way, but he got the nod on the count back. So there's that privilege. There's that privilege bit.
Like Audley Harrison, similar.
Audley Harrison was the same. And as soon as you ask them the question and it's put on you, you look for a way out because you're not used to it. You want to go home, you're looking for the fire exit. How do I get out of here? And then even in the rematch, when he come back from the Ruiz loss, he just ran for 12 rounds. He just ran scared, and boxed on his back foot, and just anything to win. Where if it was me, because I've had quite a tough upbringing, my dad brought me up with a firm hand, and my dad was in and out of prison. I don't want to go too much about my background. I've got a big brother and a little brother, and we had that dynamics, and had a few street fights, and I was in pubs from the age of 15. And it just makes you hard and tough.
Toughens you.
And some of your mates go to prison, and some of your mates get stabbed or beat up, and you just see it all, and you think, right, okay. And it makes you what you are. And then when you're in that ring, and you're getting dropped in round 3 by Jermaine Taylor, so what? I've been punched in the face, he had a glove on. No one's hitting me from behind. No one's trying to stick a knife in me. The referee's there giving me a nice 8 seconds to get onto my feet. It's all right in here. I can cope with this. Do you know what I mean? It's not as bad as you think.
Well, that's it. You've been in worse situations. So you're thinking, I
forgot what the question was, but you said, how will somebody do when he was younger? I killed it for you, didn't I? I went on a good journey, didn't I?
That was great.
If you've had a privileged career, it's hard to come back when you're asked the questions older. So I think you was saying, if I had the social media now, in my career, would it have deflected from it? Well, if I'd have had the same upbringing to get to the point where I got, then no, I'd have just capitalised on it and probably made more money and become a bigger star and become more of a household name. But then how would that affect me? Because money's not a good thing. Having too much money. When you've got an amount of money where I think 10 million is the new 1 million. Because years ago, when you was a millionaire in the 80s, £1 million, you're a millionaire. But this day and age, you need 10 million quid to be a millionaire. So when you've surpassed that number, and then you invest it wisely, and you're a bit of an entrepreneur with it, and you're frugal with it, then you're financially free. And you don't need to worry about the money. So the money that you make now, like with the Saudi Arabian money, I just don't see how, when you've got 100 million quid in the bank, you can be motivated to do a sport like boxing.
That's it,
because it's dangerous. And when you've got a wife and you've got children, and your health is important to you, because your health is your wealth at the end of the day.
That's what you've got to prioritise.
You've got to say, why am I jumping in the ring now, getting punched in the head, and I'm one punch away from a blood clot on the brain?
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
I suppose it's the legacy, isn't it?
Why am I doing it?
It's got to be for the legacy.
Yeah, well, it's got to be for that. Because the money don't make any change, change your life.
No.
So then there lies, where's the motivation? What motivates you to go in the ring and risk your life when you're already financially free? When I boxed professionally, I was fighting because I was a prize fighter, so I wanted to get paid.
Yep.
And then once you reach financial freedom, there's got to be more to it than that. It's got to be a deeper meaning. But to get to the point where I was making really good money, I'd kind of already cemented my legacy. So then when I had the bonus 2 fights with George Groves, and that one at Wembley on Sky Paper, I had 3 pay-per-view fights on Sky, and I just thought, I've smashed it now. Yeah. I'm only 36 years old at this time, a month away from 37. I'm 47 sat here now, still in shape, still on the weight, still carrying no body fat. It's just, I've got that mindset and that discipline. Every day I get up, I have a cold shower, I have a training session, I detox in my sauna. It's just a routine, it's a lifestyle. So at 36, I know for a fact I could have had at least 2 or 3 more fights. Whether it would have been Golovkin, whether it would have been a rematch with Ward, maybe a James DeGale, maybe another one with Groves, who knows? There'd have been 2 or 3 more fights there that would have probably netted me 10, 15, 20 million even in the right environment. And I knew that when I retired. But I put my health and my kids before.
And I guess because you were smart, you hadn't wasted your money, you hadn't gone on mad spending sprees, you'd invested it like you said, so you knew you were okay, rather than a lot of boxers who do tend to go off the rails and just splurge.
It's about being smart, it's about having good people around you and being able to take advice off people that you trust. But it is what it is. We can't tell people what to do.
And also you can't excuse Ryan Garcia's behaviour on social media or just mental health in general. He's still making the decisions that he's made.
Absolutely, but he is more of he's an example of somebody who's probably more famous than most world champions.
Definitely,
before he even became a world champion. Because of his social media presence. So that's obviously affected him in a negative way. It's not helped him, has it?
No, not at all. No, sad to see where he is now. But speaking of kind of outside boxing, other things, we saw Donald Trump get shot. You're a fan of Donald Trump, and now, like you said, Joe Biden stepped down. Obviously, this strengthens Donald Trump's position. What do you make of the reporting of it? Like you said, was not always accurate in terms of the headlines. Where do we go from here in terms of the presidential, the race for the next president in America?
Well, it's not so much that I'm a fan of Donald Trump. I'm not a fan, but I like the way the Republicans do things as opposed to the Democrats.
Okay.
Democrats, for me, left-wing, liberal, woke, anti-human, control, dictatorship, all these things that I disagree with in terms of having freedoms as a human being and having your sovereignty. You should be free. You should be able to speak freely. You should be able to move freely, and you should be able to be rewarded for your hard work and success. Where for me, the left side and the Democratic side, take you away your rights, take all that away from you. So I am a Trump fan in terms of what he's achieved as a businessman. You've got to admire him because he's made a fortune. But I'm not a fanboy like, I love Trump.
No.
Whoever's running for the Republicans, I'm behind them because I like their values. But
even the gun laws,
listen, the gun laws are the gun laws. You've got countries where, someone used an example last week about the gun laws, and they've got more guns than America per head, and people aren't getting shot up. I forgot the country.
South America, Brazil, maybe.
I'm not sure Brazil's not the best, is it?
No, not really. It's
the gang culture out there can be bad.
Dangerous.
But I can't remember where it was. But if you've not got guns, you've got knives. We don't have guns in England. Look how many people get stabbed every week.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So maybe if our police had guns, would be better off. I mean, you can't say that Donald Trump and his anti-gun law. What's that? Is it the Second Amendment? Isn't it? Second Amendment.
Yeah.
Your right to defend yourself.
Yeah.
We should have that. We should have that right.
I just feel like automatic weapons is where it's a bit over the top, isn't it? People going in schools and shooting up.
Yeah, but the problem lies with the upbringing and the parents. And if somebody wants to get a gun to do something really bad, they'll get a gun.
You can get a gun, that's
regardless of whether they're banned or not.
What do you think about the kid that shot Trump then? Allegedly, his phone is unbreakable, unhackable, can't get in. He's never had social media imprint.
We could do 1 hour on Donald Trump getting shot, and how the left-wing media, the mainstream media, reported on it and how bad it was. Why is he on a roof, 150 yards away from the president or the former president, and there's security guys looking at him.
Yeah, the
people
snipers.
raising awareness that this guy's crawling on the roof with a gun.
Yeah, it's baffling.
And he's been allowed to take shots at Trump.
Yeah.
It can't be an inside job in the sense that it's organised by the Republicans and they're doing it to make Trump look good.
No.
Because he was inches from death.
Yeah. If you had
And
to
somebody
tell us,
actually died. People are forgetting somebody actually got shot dead.
Yeah.
That poor bloke bloody took a bullet. He was allowed on that roof. And he was allowed to have a free shot at Donald Trump, and then he blew his brains out.
Unbelievable, really, yeah.
And when you look at it and look at the people that have been killed previously, you have to do your research, but it started with one, John F. Kennedy,
Yeah.
and he was a Republican, and he was for the people, and he wanted peace, prosperity, and wanted people to get on and love each other and work together. That's what he wanted. And you get the feeling that a lot of these governments don't want that.
They want division and, divide and rule. All right, let's wrap it up there. That's July done. We'll be back in August, I think. And you're off to Spain, so have a good trip out there.
Yeah, should be good.
Thanks for your wisdom as always.
Pleasure.
Cheers. Bye.